Peace, 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 peace. I'm gonna try this blackout message since I'm taking this ride. Greetings to all, peace to all. Swear when I be having these moments, I was like, I need to create some content, even if it's just for myself first. You know, give an honor to the source, to the creator for making all this possible. I'm gonna just go on my fucking rant for the night. It's almost like a conversation to myself, but it's pretty much y'all in the mix of it. Other than that, man, talk about pioneering your own path or beginning where, how could I say this? Like starting where your mother or father or grandfather, great grandmother, and so forth couldn't. For me, I really sit here and wonder sometimes, like, bro, I sit back and look at the examples that I have before me, and this is based off from my experience, like the examples I have from whether relatives, cousins, and so forth. And if you ain't heard it before, this ain't about good or bad, good or evil, none of that shit. This is about like literally making better decisions, more conscious decisions, like more self-aware decisions, like realizing how much that shit impacts, impacts like your life and everyone else. And it's like, whoa. If you heard me talk before, especially like when you didn't have certain examples before you, and then you were trying to make better decisions, and then there's this push-pull between you and the old version of you, pretty much. So again, the challenge in that, when it seems like a push-pull between you and trying to unlearn and no longer conform to some shit that is really unfamiliar to you, or at a point in time was familiar. Yeah, man, this shit ain't for the faint of heart, bro. I'll be sitting here wondering, like, bro, I remember such and such used to do this, and such used to do this. And you sit back and reflect, because it's like, I was telling my therapist, I was like, yo, for me to actually travel here, go here, and make these decisions that my father or my grandfather or someone didn't have the opportunity to travel here to do this and do that. I don't think y'all know how monumental that is when you are doing something, not just for the first time, but doing something that someone else hasn't. And when I say making better decisions, it's like you literally making a better decision to live in a better headspace, in a better place emotionally, mentally, peacefully. And the ripple effect for your kids to also see that, or for other generations, when the pressure around trying to be an inspiration, even when you're not trying to. The confidence is just to be yourself. So that's an inspiration in that, when you're just being yourself. In this moment in time, I feel like that is one of the most, I wouldn't just say challenging, I would say that is the most difficult thing most people have right now, because of, I've told y'all about the climate of recognizing, what economic system that is crumbling before us, and all these things happening around us globally. The greatest wealth transfer emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. And what comes with that can be resistance, because a lot of people aren't used or ready for change, or And I don't mean you just change your clothes. I mean internal evolution, internal you know, oh my God, you better run out there. You almost got hit. Internal you know, their internal world changing, then they have an effect on the external, because again, we've been in a society um, in the last few hundred years that has pretty much groomed us or programmed us to believe that there's nothing more than outside of trying to work hard and do all these things and trying to convince the elders that this shit don't work for me. It worked for you, but it don't work for me. That's like trying to convince my kids that this shit works for them, and it doesn't. That's even when it comes to parenting, when it comes to just being a guardian, when it comes to just being yourself. Whew, man, it's oh my gosh. Where do I start? Where does it end? Where does it begin? It's like from every ending, there's a new beginning, or there's a beginning to something. There's always something. There's never not nothing. But man, oh my God, I'd be a fool to say if I had it all together. Cause I was telling my therapist, it's like when you look at the baby boomers, when you look at certain generations before us, millenniums, it's like the world is not so much codependent, but dependent on us to rise above the occasion. Like to rise. Right now, it's so important for us to stand firm, and even if it felt like we could go away, we're still just as much. I I, I don't want to oversaturate the word needed, but dependent on. Because you got elders that have no idea what's going on. They don't want to change. They don't want to evolve. These are some of the elders now that some of us have to watch, have to be caretakers for. These are some of the elders like who don't want to change their well-being, who don't care for their well-being. Um, and there's so much pressure around that because I ask myself, being on the tail end, or not just the tail end, but being a bridge from seeing what has happened with elders, and then like firsthand knowing exactly what they ignore, know exactly what they fight so day to day to convince us what is um what's supposed to be okay with, or what we're supposed to just accept and move forward on. I'm grateful and honored to still realize, like, had it not been for them and what they created, built, and so forth, then there would be no awareness around what I've come to know or come to the awareness of. And even with that, um, had it not happened or unfolded, how would I have known to um, see the importance of my wellness? Because again, I've said before, their generations wasn't prioritizing wellness. Their generation was just more focused on material security, homes and stability. And I told the therapist, I said, being that that was a priority, that same thing that they created is the same thing that is destroying them from the outside in. And it's still destroying them from the inside out because, again, their focus wasn't well being. And we see how a lot of them dealing with a lot of chronic, um, dysregulated nervous systems, uh, they're going, never really sitting with themselves, never really resting, and so forth. So even though it doesn't like look the same, depending on the demographics or anything else, it still can look the same where you see them in their career settings with the money that they make, um, or what they do daily, or how they go about work, and so forth. And again, it looks different, but the energy is the same because, again, they're still not prioritizing their well-being. I know of people who are different classes that say that make certain amounts of money, but at the same moment, I'm seeing it day to day, bro. Like, if you're just following me, I've been in an experience where, having to go through a shelter experience and seeing it firsthand how a lot of the different age and generations of people aren't that aren't my age, but I can still connect the dots to realize, like, there's some people who said they security guards or whatever. Certain people said that they've I gotta bear with me. I'm finna eat some watermelon. Um, they worked in prisons, and basically, it made me remind me of my grandmother. They worked these plant positions, but it seems like almost slavery, bro. I'm talking about people talking about 20, 15 years at one place, and then what they were doing. It's like, oh my God. What they were exposed to, and they still don't know how to sit down. There's this one guy ran into some health issues, and he's no longer at the place. And then this one elder come tell me about his experience with him, how he don't know how to sit down. Like the guy has been away, but being that a lot of them come to work every day, some of them have to come out of retirement or come out of do certain things to pay their mortgage. And it may seem crazy, but I don't think y'all really know the depths of this shit. Like, I'm saying, like, you got people trying to convince me I should go, because I got to look at realistically my demographics, where I grew up in, and then literally, without giving a blueprint, like, from my mother and father and people I grew up with, because I learned my lesson when I try to follow that shit. And I'm grateful because that's where the generational curses come in that I broke. Meaning, like, if you a cycle breaker, bro, it's like going against everything you saw, witness as a child, just to authentically walk your path, bro. That shit don't come with rainbows all the time. No, that shit coming with being a black sheep comes with walking through the fucking storm, knowing that the sun's gonna shine. Walking through the storm when you supposed to have guardians or certain people hold an umbrella for you, and you're like, fuck. They don't even care to protect you from the rain. So you start to learn how to dance in this shit. That's a real one. So again, it's like these elders trying to tell me this is the life you're trying to live. This is a life. This is a life. I'm looking at them like, if I look like this, and I don't mean just physical appearance, but if I'm prioritizing my well-being and it pisses you off or it makes you uncomfortable because I'm trying to learn this shit because I didn't get a blueprint, I don't think I can emphasize this shit enough. We are dealing with, even from my fucking experience, I am not as developed as the next person. I don't have the experience or financial literacy. This watermelon. Financial literacy and shit or knowledge somebody would, I was sneezing and coughing at the same time. Somebody would that had someone pay their tuition in college and shit. This shit ain't easy, bro, when you didn't have the representation, man. Not only the representation, but it's like day to day where you gotta fucking have confidence. It took years to rebuild my shit. Day to day dealing with people who want to gatekeep shit. You want to collaborate, then the fucking trust issues that you have comes up because you're breaking free from survival mindset or believing that someone's out to get you, or it's so much shit that comes with this, bruh. I'm not ashamed because that comes with it when you're building big brick by brick, because you got to see what causes shit to crumble before you can rebuild some shit. Meaning, like, if I grew up around insecure people, I develop a belief system around that shit. Believing this is how the way I have to act, learn behavior. Just believing that I have to perform this way. And that's the thing. I didn't have to perform for nobody but myself. Learn how to perform for myself. That's why they say some people are the greatest actors, especially insecure. They're not secure with themselves. So every day they got to mask and perform. I see a lot of celebrities like that, or other people performing on their way out. So again, it's like these elders trying to tell me, go here, go work, go do this for 30 years. Get a retirement. Do this, do that. But ain't none of y'all, this was fucking baffles me. It's like the manipulation to try to convince us this shit working for us, bro. It's not. It's not. For me, I'm grateful. And I mean, I'm not saying certain things haven't guided me to where I need to go. But I realize it's on my way out. On my way away from shit. Shit that motherfuckers want to sit here and pretend like it's all good and dandy and shit. That's bullshit. But yeah, man, go work. I've seen y'all. Again, I gotta look at it from my experience. Listen, I get it. One thing about mastering or learning shit, it's like I gotta learn to experience, go through something to realize, like, okay, is this for me or not? I could listen to you, and guess what? It's just like a child. I could listen to you, but I'm gonna do it anyway. That's lessons. But I ain't gonna feel shame and guilt around the fact that I made that decision. This is where I'm at. Now I can rebuild. That's the beauty of life. And then staying consistent with what I'm doing. Whether it's my speaking, my artists, and so forth. It's not about fucking fame. It's not about being popular. It's about the fact that a lot of this has nothing to do with getting accepted. That's what fame, I feel like, is. It's like getting accepted from what? The world? Half of these people don't even accept their own shit. What they really going through. My acceptance is myself. Don't need the world's validation or acceptance. Fame? No. Some of us just want to create a life where we can live abundantly and prosperously so that we can, and enjoy memories with our tribe, with our families, and move forward. I could care less about a damn celebrity or somebody else, because guess what? They too probably want the same thing, but they just going through it in their own way. I don't see how the fuck a person can sit back and talk about they claim to have millions, get all this material shit, and not get away from the illusion in the game that they in. What? This got to be the biggest joke to me. What the fuck is this? How is not most of the world not realizing, like, bro, you been bamboozled? I could care less if somebody don't make millions. What are you doing with it? The real game is what? What are you building from that shit? What have you built? How many lives have you changed from that? Mothers, mortgages, rent, or something. How many lives have you changed through that? I don't want to hear this shit. Then something that come across my feed about another school shooting in the so-called U.S., right? I don't know all the details. I just saw it come across. And I was telling my therapist, man, if y'all think this is about safety. We're learning to feel safe millenniums and then the generation after. If I look at the last 100 fucking years, when I'm talking about elders who have come through war, distress, dysregulated nervous systems, warlike tendencies, violence, all this, parents or ancestors who have been a part of, whether you want to call it mental slavery, physical labor, physical slavery, whatever you want to call it, bro. I just want to rest, and my ancestors do too. My kids deserve the rest. My kids deserve to live in communities, countries, where they are protected first. The priority around our kids. What kind of fucking shit is going on that y'all are not angered or frustrated or something where you have the fucking bigotry or whatever the words I'm trying to come up with now? Y'all care to protect celebrities and with their security around them rather than our fucking children. Y'all disgust me. All of y'all. Y'all disgust me, bro. Sis. Y'all will promote music to make children go out there and do the same shit. Just like y'all don't see the well-being around what the fuck is going on, bro. How isn't a school, a public place with the most purest and innocence of souls who are not tainted, not protected? Man, fuck this shit, bro. You think I'm going to think I gotta be a part of an economic system or people who don't care, who truly, genuinely care about the kids first? And the mothers? And y'all sit here and idolize these corny ass celebrities? Corny ass people. These corny ass people who can care less about anybody. I don't care if politicians or anybody. This is a nation or place who does not prioritize the well-being because it shows right now through your kids, through how they are treated. The very thing that is the future of the fucking world and nation, this realm, this earthly environment. What? Y'all don't even care to protect that which is the progression, the harvest, the fruits of what's to come. Man, please. Some of us already know that. Bro, we know what this country is coming to. A lot of things that had to happen. The purification, the cleansing that has to happen. And you want me to feel like I gotta stay in this shit? When a lot of us are focused on getting the fuck out. Getting away. And staying away until the smoke clears. This is ridiculous, bro. Not even days into. Is this like the only country that has, I don't know about everything else, but the fact of, is this the country that allows stuff like this and calls themselves great? The land of the free? You fucking elders disgust me, bro. I don't care if you're in a spiritual community. I could care less if you a pastor or preacher, what type of fucking sorority, fraternity, or anything you're a part of. You fucking lay your heads out at night, care more about your money than the souls, than the little girls and boys who make sure, due to documents and data, in your school systems, in whatever the fuck that you're creating and building, that they'll someday support. You could care less about them. You fucking disgust me. May judgment, divine judgment and justice and retribution come to all, bro, who do not see the importance of the children and their well-being. May all y'all suffer at the hands of the Most High. And may it be swift justice. Ashe, ashe, ashe. I stand for spiritual justice. Y'all sit back here on y'all podcasts, whatever the fuck it is, y'all platforms, talk about relationships, parade your fucking physical features and shake your ass and do all these other things. But bro, y'all don't even care about y'all kids. Y'all don't even care about the kids. I don't give a fuck about no leaders that don't give a fuck about their well-being, that don't even care about the kids. Y'all disgust me. And the reason I say that, because my inner child, how can we feel safe and secure in a place that don't even care for our well-being, our safety internally? This is what the monster that y'all created. And now that the beast is here, there's only very few who can destroy it. But y'all created this beast. Y'all created it. I wash my hands, man. That's all a lot of us got to do. The more we start calling our power back, you realize you wash your hands with this shit, bro. It's disgusting. Y'all want our mothers who don't feel safe in the climate that we're in to send their kids to schools and to even think that they have, how could how could someone even care to orchestrate that? This is ridiculous. And y'all aren't sitting out here, the cornballs who push. Nobody gives a fuck about these celebrities in that story and what they're doing. Ain't nothing but another distraction. Y'all are so easily swayed. It's ridiculous. Stop acting like you care now about the kids. Your bills, your superficiality, your relationships is more important than a relationship with yourself, because if you knew the importance of prioritizing your well-being, you would prioritize the well-being of to protect your inner child and the inner child and the children that's to come and so forth. You fuckers, man, this shit's ridiculous. And then people got the nerve to tell me, oh my gosh, you should go do this and you should do this. Man, I'm over here trying to focus on the fact of how the fuck can I protect my inner child? How can I value my inner child so I know how I can, be in tune with myself and be a guiding light for my kids? Because it's not even starting to look. I already known the fact of what the fuck is to come, and people sit back here. They gonna catch on so far, man. Listen, I've always tell people, bro, I don't care where you at, what you're doing. I told my homeboys this years ago at a party. I said, man, something happened to you right now. Who gonna be there for your kids, bro? And I don't mean just be there physically. How many of y'all around people who really pour into your, like, literally trying to heal themselves and their traumas and shit? Y'all keep hollering about money and all this other shit. You know what's more important than that? Spiritual wealth. You know what spiritual wealth? You got to realize how you've been spiritually in poverty. Spiritually, your spiritual hygiene. How you been in tune, how you haven't progressed. What's unresolved. and wonder why you ain't moved away from no shit. Wonder why you ain't did nothing. I see it all the time, bro. I'm grateful, bro. Y'all gotta realize these are the moments where the split is here. A lot of shit is happening because as much as y'all as women and men, I express to my mothers and women all the time, man. If that man is not trying to fucking acknowledge his mother wounds and make some type of conscious step to evolving himself, um, you know, trying to make some type of progression towards bettering himself, if he not making better decisions than his father did, I don't. When you remove sex and money, how you trying to persuade you all that old world shit? Yo, what are y'all doing with these men? What are you doing? You're settling. And you can't blame nobody else but yourself. Same thing with men. What are you doing if this sister's not spiritually in tune and she's not trying to become aware of the fact of if you do or do not have kids, does she know her purpose? What is she doing? Shit is changing. It already has shifted, y'all. What are y'all doing? The club life done. A lot of the old world shit where a lot of things were built on a certain economic system, it's done. What are y'all doing? If all they talk about is money, man, I can be honest with you. It's a wrap. If they're not in tune with themselves, because, again, we're coming out of an old world where they prioritize material wealth or material things over their well-being. We're moving away from that to really hone in on our spiritual well-being. Physical, emotional, mental. We're watching them decay. We're watching certain elders leave this world who did not prioritize this shit. Tell you, I don't see it firsthand, so I'll be sitting back like, how y'all gonna tell me to do some shit y'all never done? Y'all know nothing about holistic. You know nothing about being in tune. You know nothing about, being on this fucking path. You know nothing about this. So they don't have to believe shit I say or what I'm doing. That's cool and all. A way is already made because we are the way makers. It takes a lot of responsibility to sit back and not even just speak up and not be assertive, knowing that it does more harm not to do what I'm called to do than to just sit back and, and say nothing at all. That shit does more harm. Y'all be sitting back, being passive aggressive, and that shit does more harm. And then you think not doing nothing, and sometimes, no, I get where you retreat and you choose your battle, but bro, these moments we living in, I'm paying very fucking close attention to everyone who's not for children. Everyone who's not in tune with their inner child. There's a split. I get some people who are unaware in certain things, but for the ones who know, I know who can have an impact or can affect the masses, man, there's a difference between sympathy and grace, because I have grace for people, but the sympathy I have for none, because, for some people, I know exactly. Y'all sit here and promote this bullshit, this a lot of shit dealing with, I'm telling you, a lot of this sports shit, a lot of stuff is not finna last. A lot of this shit crumbling with it. It ran its course. It's not to say a lot of it wasn't part of it, but y'all gotta realize, like, bro, the Divine Mother, the higher ups that's at play right now, man. Listen, this shit is very vital right now when it comes to, y'all don't realize, like, the Divine Mother is and the Divine Father is very adamant on protecting the innocent. And y'all don't realize, like, bro, that's spiritual law. You fucking with kids, and especially kids and the innocent, it's just the innocent period, mean like elders. There's consequences to that shit. There's consequences to a nation, to all of them, to everybody. That's consequences. That's even with me. With certain things I've done, and I'm sitting here and be like, oh my gosh. you know, I can only imagine what happened to me when I was young. When you're trying to better yourself and become a better guardian, you're unlearning the behavior patterns even when you're not consciously aware of what you've done. Until the divine be like, listen, I didn't bring you this far. I didn't give you these kids for you to do the same shit. I didn't give you this lifestyle for you to do the same shit. I didn't give you this knowledge to do the same shit. Some of y'all not realizing that. You were not giving your life to do the same pattern. Yes, you may have learned patterns or learned behavior. I get that. That's one of the most toughest things to get through is to unlearn and relearn. Reevaluate life. But bro, I'm telling you, that integrity through all of this. I don't been rejected. I don't been kicked out. I don't been trying to be blackmailed. Bro, it's so much shit that has tried to be attempted to keep me from whatever it is I'm called to do. But guess what? Integrity, authenticity, you cannot threaten it. Because it's a high frequency. You cannot get, it's just what it is. And that's what the world is leaning towards. Seeds are already being implanted. This shit right here, bro, I'm saying, like, y'all got people trying to tell me how I should do this, how I should do that. Listen, I just accepted that some things it just ain't here. It is what it is. I'm grateful, I'm honored, but bro, it's gonna click for a lot of you here soon. Get your shit, get on, do what you gotta do. Whatever brings you harmony and peace and brings you to a place of bliss or brings you to a place of, like, again, peace, inner peace. Do it. Love it. Honor it. Don't let nobody out here trick you out of your fucking position thinking that otherwise. Because them days is over with people trying to think they can come and just persuade you with this and that. That shit, a lot of that stuff be of the old world trying to get you attached to the old narrative of believing this is the only way you'll make it. If you devalue or lower your standards, this is the only way. No, it's not. And those people, I had to learn to stay very clear from because guess what? I'm not being a part of none of their karma. The lessons they need to learn. For what? Some people just ain't gonna get it. This lifetime, maybe the next. Some people just ain't gonna get it. They don't want to. And that's why I realized, like, even with a lot of elders of the world they live in, they're comfortable. They built foundations where they get comfortable. And they become comfortable. And so you can't convince me not to be uncomfortable in some shit that was never created me to get comfortable in. I'm sitting here looking at my demographics and certain things like this. I'm like, what makes you think that depending on what I grew up in and what my mom came from and like that shit, the better your life, to make better decisions so that not only you live much better, but the generations after, man, that shit becomes louder and louder every day once I start to realize, like, it's like when I look at the elders for a lot of them, they're not leaving behind the importance of well-being. They'll leave behind money and material stuff, but they're not leaving behind the importance of their well-being, to prioritize it. That's balance. They balance their emotional, spiritual, into the physical. It's balance. So I realized, I'm like, oh my gosh, we're being restored not only just with spiritual, but the emotional and mental. And so our world is going to look completely different. It already is changing. That's the acceptance. But why am I sitting here and fool myself like, bro, my body going to go out here and do some construction. No, I tried that shit years ago. Oh, my body going to go out here and do this. No, because once I sat down, my body, once you realize what having a chronic or a dysregulated nervous system, I've told y'all before, being hit by a car young, playing sports for years on out, never truly stretching. No, I'm not saying like my body is messed up. No, my body has letting me know from you not ever resting more than what you should, and you're not sitting with whatever these emotions are, these blockages and so forth, it lets me know through the uncomfortability. Today, we're going to bed at 9:30. Tonight, we're going to bed at 9:15. Or go to the swimming pool, rest, get exercise like that. You don't have to put more in your body with weights. Or you know what? You might not want to do that 9 to 5. Try to create some type of stay consistent with your art, but find another outlet. Use your voice. Do something. Do something innovative. Create something. You have all these ideas, but yet you were sticking to one thing, and that's why I realized a lot of the previous generations did. They didn't have an opportunity to live out a lot of things. And so, again, as I said before, they want our lives to be like theirs. And I'm like, no. I'm here to be an inspiration even to you. And even if you're not really to accept it, you're still not going to dim my light. And that's what's going to make me unstoppable. Just because you rejected it and want to support doesn't mean there isn't something else that's aligned with that. So y'all got to remember that. I know it can feel like motherfuckers not going to support you, but it'll come and it's already here. It's just getting ready and keeping your head up and staying in integrity. Integrity is the fact of you're going to not so much lose friends, but they're going to fall away like the autumn. They're going to fall away like leaves. You're going to have to reevaluate, rethink your whole life. You're going to have to restructure, rebrand your image. That that comes with um, uprooting your belief system. That comes with no longer hanging around people, no longer being a part of friends and family, certain things where you were never invited, or being in a place where you were never celebrated and appreciated just for your authenticity. This shit is not for the faint of heart, bro. I'm not looking for celebration. Authenticity teaches you to celebrate yourself, your shortcomings, the parts of you that at a point in time you wanted to hate. Authenticity will teach you to build a life upon integrity, truth about yourself. When mom and dad or somebody else created foundations upon lying or keeping things away from you, being secret, no, you no longer have to do that with yourself. Like I said, this shit ain't for the faint of heart. It takes years. It takes months. It's different for everyone. But I'm telling you, it's longevity. And I know it's difficult for a lot of people who did not have this knowledge or did not come to this awareness to a certain age. I felt like that. I'm like, fuck. Sometimes I can't even tell the difference. Am I behind or ahead? It ain't even about being ahead of someone like you're more valuable. But now I'm starting to just accept, like, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Because if I did not have this awareness, or I did not get this support young, who's going to blame me for not having certain things just because I didn't have that support system they had? So for someone to try to shame and guilt me into believing, guilt trip me to be like, oh gosh, you don't have this, you're less valuable, you're not amazing, you're not great. Bullshit. Because we are going through something. Things are changing. So for me, I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't change a thing. Like I told the therapist, I have rather come into restoring the emotional security within myself to withstand with having something physically and longevity. See the balance in what it took for me to get there. See the what at a point in time when I would do things impulsively, whether a bad, not so much bad, but spending habits, to where now I'm more aware of intentionally putting something towards that's investment for the long haul. The mindset around things completely changing and doing things differently. Instead of feel like, oh, I gotta convince people that I gotta tell social media I'm doing so much like this. Bullshit, you gonna get the authentic version. Right around this time, listen, it almost took me 35, 36 years to realize, like, fuck. Um, I did not at all have this all together. And I've matured or just evolved, like, beautifully. Like, there is no rush on building things. And again, while you watch a whole another world crumble and people behind the closed doors go out the same way that their generation came in. I don't think y'all hearing me. A lot of people are going out the same way their generation came in. And it might not look the same, but the energy is. The very thing that was created for a lot of people is destroying them. And what I mean by that is like the seeds that they planted, the business that they built the energy on, it follows them. Until what? A dead end. Until what? They got to look in the mirror. Until what? They grandkids, and so forth, or figure them out. Their kids figure them out. And the funny thing is, we getting this shit from elders who trying to tell us how to raise our kids when you didn't raise your kids. And what I mean by that, a lot of you wasn't in the space to raise them. But at the same moment, you did what you had to do. But let's be real here. A lot of you did not even raise your own kids. The streets did. Television did. When you're looking at baby boomers, you acting like people were there like consistently. So, yeah, it's like we're not supposed to bring our kids or do things the same as everybody else. No, we're not. We don't have to. Y'all keep honoring yourself, loving on yourself, and take advantage of the fact of you are here to do something completely different. You are here to be uniquely you. You are here to be authentic. You are here knowing that you are loved and lovable. All of what you went through, what may be perceived as negative, which is again the aspect of like a battery post. Negative being femininity, the feminine principle, and the positive being the masculine. Those very things in the dark was who and what you're supposed to be and become. And that's steps. That's like a baby step. Like I said, I would have never thought I would have been here years ago when I was younger. Because at the time, I didn't think about that shit. I didn't have no one prepare me. I didn't have no one come, remind me like, hey, once you get into your 20s or once you get into this, and it's okay. I was just like, wow, the resilience that I am now, and at the same time, I reminded myself that it is what it is right now. You have the gifts. You got to this place. Now, what are you gonna do about it? And I don't have to figure that overnight. I just have to realize also I don't have to do it alone, but at the same time, I'm not alone. So I gotta go. Peace and blessings. Y'all take care of yourself. Shalom.